After finally catching Faust at the Clear Sky base, Skif managed to get the scanner containing his precious artifact back. He now has what he needs to leave the zone and finance a new place to live. However, first things first, he must find his way out of the swamps and back into the safer regions of the zone. Is Skif nearing the end of his time in the zone?
This is the RPG Loner, and welcome to episode 7 of my S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 series. So after one of the longest days of Skif's life so far, he is now finally armed with everything he needs to finally leave the zone and get back to civilization. However, he is in a very treacherous anomaly field at the moment, so he takes a few minutes to have a look into this house and see if he can find anything. And he does notice, while trying to get into this medical container, that there's a loose floorboard, and it has exactly what he needs after a long day. However, it also has a kick-ass pair of night vision goggles, which should help him traverse his way through this tough anomaly field. After finishing looking around, he continues on. Skif finally makes his way through the anomaly field and begins his very, very long hike north towards the Zayton region, and he checks his PDA to plot his route and find the safest way to walk through the swamps. So as you can see, Skif has a very, very long hike ahead of him, and his current objective is to merely make it out of the swamps alive. But he knows it's going to be a while before he can leave the zone, and his immediate concern is getting somewhere safe to get some sleep and offload what he's carrying, because at the moment he is more over encumbered than normal due to the fact he has to carry the scanner through the swamps. So he continues on.
Come in. If you're heading to Circa, stop by the ranger station. We need to talk to you.
We?
S.T.A.L.K.E.R and I. We have news. It's very important.
So the man named S.T.A.L.K.E.R that just contacted Skif via radio is the leader of a gang called Noontide, a group of former Monolithians who live on Wild Island, who Skif has already had some dealings with, and they have been quite helpful, to be fair to them. As far as S.T.A.L.K.E.R, he is the leader of some sort of militant group, and so far Skif does not trust him. So both S.T.A.L.K.E.R and S.T.A.L.K.E.R want to meet Skif, but first things first, he needs to offload his pack and find a place to sleep, because he has been up for a very long time.
Whoa! That's a lot of
We've got guests. Chikan.
Fuck off! We found those stiffs first. That's our stuff.
All right. I'm already leaving.
Yeah, move along.
What these two chumps don't know is that this could be the luckiest day of their life, as Skif has no interest in engaging them, with his pack being so full. He continues. And he finally makes it back to the comforting embrace of the Sultanst.
They already tried to take me out. Can you believe it? The plan itself was bad enough. The execution was even worse. Something tells me I haven't seen the last of them, though. Oh well, no biggie. I'm a lucky gal. Might as well start decorating walls with the guns I took from wannabe assassins.
So, feeling a sense of accomplishment after one of the longest days of his life, Skif offloads his pack, sells what goods he has found, and decides to repair his gear and get some medical attention. But he's going to hunker down here for the night, and possibly the last night he'll ever spend on this boat. And he takes a minute to read some of the notes he found in Clear Sky. And it seems to be some technical information as to where these emissions seem to be coming from. But after filling his stomach, he decides to head to bed for the night. And in the morning, he will meet Strider and S.T.A.L.K.E.R. A fairly straightforward walk lies ahead, and no need for any excessive planning. As Skif approached his destination, he wondered to himself why these two want to meet him. Let's find out.
I see a loner. He's got some kind of weird device on his back. That loner's a little on the weird side himself. Come on in, Skif. We've been waiting for you.
Skif makes his way into the compound. Well, that looks like S.T.A.L.K.E.R's boys, based off of the way they're dressed, as we have encountered them a few times before.
You know what makes a stalker a stalker? Curiosity. I told you he'd come.
You told me a lot, and left out even more. Thank you for coming, Skif.
I didn't expect to see you two here. You're working together?
S.T.A.L.K.E.R is always eager to help, but he never tells me why.
Why spoil a good surprise?
What did you want to talk about?
I found out that the Ward moved the Wish Granter from the CNPP to S.T.A.L.K.E.R.
The monolith.
That toy is way too dangerous, even for Dallin. Especially for Dallin. The zone itself could suffer for it. And then the dark would eclipse whatever light still remains here.
I've seen Faust. You mentioned the Wish Granter as well before he disappeared.
So he's in on it too. The past will never let us go, will it?
Do you think Faust is planning something that involves S.T.A.L.K.E.R?
If you put 2 and 2 together, you'll probably get 4, even in the zone.
If the monolith really is at S.T.A.L.K.E.R like S.T.A.R says, then Faust is doing all of this for one reason. To get inside the Institute.
Dallin is hell-bent on making a scientific breakthrough, by any means necessary. If the Wish Granter is activated again...
No. I won't allow that to happen.
Can you remind me again what the Wish Granter is?
An atrocity.
It's a device that was used to protect the center of the zone.
They had it installed inside the CNPP sarcophagus. It drew stalkers to it with the promise of granting wishes.
The Wish Granter, or Monolith, drove people insane. Those who survived the ordeal were brainwashed and became monolithians.
I've always wondered, Strider, what did you wish for when you got there?
A Strider wants to know what Faust is up to. I want to get to the bottom of the whole scanner business. But what's in it for you?
See, Strider doesn't trust me either. But like I told you before, I just like helping people. The zone represents the delicate balance between the dark and the light in all of us. The monolith disrupted that balance once, and it will do so again. Besides, anything that hurts the ward is fine by me. We all do what needs to be done, and we risk our lives for what we believe in. That's the only way, Skif. Otherwise, we're no better than zombies.
So what do you want from me?
I see you found what you were looking for, and you're going to find even more. In the darkest part of the zone, built from the brightest of intentions.
The scanner is your chance to get into S.T.A.L.K.E.R. Then, you'll be able to find out if that damn machine is really there. I'll get my squad together and head for the Institute. We need your help, Skif. Noontide... No. The entire zone is in danger.
Sometimes good people make bad choices. I trust you to make the right one.
S.T.A.L.K.E.R, we've got wardens here. A lot of them.
Koshnev knows what he's doing, I'll give him that. Would you welcome our guests, Skif? I need some time to get off the stage.
And what about your men?
Skif will lend them a hand. He's a good man. And if not, my men are good soldiers.
So the ward are bringing a device or a anomaly or something called the Wish Granter, or as the Monolithians call it, the Monolith. This device was seemingly protecting the sarcophagus in the middle of the power plant. It is what actually drove the Monolithians insane. So it sounds like it's got some sort of psychic abilities or something. But we now need to use the fact that we have the scanner to get into the S.T.A.L.K.E.R base and find out what's going on. We still don't really understand what S.T.A.L.K.E.R's game is. However, we will fight off these wardens as they are carrying some decent loot.
Good work. I expect nothing less from you. But the hard part is still to come.
Oh, fighting off the wardens did actually pay off, as we got a tasty 8,000 credits off S.T.A.L.K.E.R and get to loot the dead also. It looks like we're going to have to make one more run to the Sultansk just to offload our gear, because we're already getting heavy again with the scanner on our backs. So we decide to head back to the Sultansk for one last time, offload our goods and head straight back out onto the road and get some answers. So we are bound for S.T.A.L.K.E.R. So after conducting our business on the Sultanst, we have a fairly large hike, 1.1 kilometers as the bird flies. However, the terrain ahead looks quite treacherous with plateaus and forestry. So we decide to head east and follow this little road which should bring us straight to the entrance. So 1.1k as the bird flies, but likely way longer with the way we have to take. So we begin our trek.
Figure out how many coupons I need
A
to
quick
buy
pit
and
stop
survive.
before continuing. So some weird paranormal thing is attacking Skif, so all he can really do is run, as he has no idea what it is or how to fight it. Although a couple of pop shots never hurt anybody. Skif notices a tower to his right and decides to check it out before continuing on the road. To his surprise, there is quite a lot of loot up here, so definitely worth the trip up the ladder. And before continuing, he checks the road ahead so he's not got any surprises. As he descends the ladder, he notices a building to his right, which he checks out before proceeding. However, nothing of note in here apart from a bottle of Kozak's vodka, which Skif is not really in the mood for at the moment, so he continues on the road. Looks like Skif didn't check the road ahead adequately, as he gets surprised.
Hey, here's another one. I told you while the Kingpin does his thing, we cut down all the smartasses running to clear sky. So, here's the deal, Stalker. Take off your backpack, put your piece on the ground, and hand over your PDA. You can leave the rest to us. On second thought, we wouldn't want you blabbing out our little enterprise here, now would we? Ice the chump, boys.
And they very, very nearly got Skif on this day. However, as we all know, Skif always gets the job done. And why would today be any different? As these guys found out the hard way. Skif continued on the road. Quick check of the PDA, and Skif can see he is getting close to his destination, and he is currently approaching an old industrial installation. What lies ahead? And Skif perceives some mutant activity to the right, potentially, so he decides to make the smart move and get out of dodge. However, he nearly sprinted straight into an anomaly field in all the excitement. Skif checks his rear before proceeding to make sure nothing is following him and continues on. As Skif looked through his scope, he realised the futuristic looking building on the horizon was the same one he'd seen after coming out of the Snork cave when Nimble gave him the coordinates of the Clear Sky base. Now he's going to finally see what it looks like inside. Skif grew weary as the weather changed once again, and another long day behind him. However, he was nearing his destination, and just as quick as the weather changed, it seemed to change back just as quick. The weary traveller was getting close to his destination. And as Skif turned the corner, he seen it straight ahead of him, the great gates of the S.T.A.L.K.E.R Institute. He approached with caution.
Stand aside. This is a restricted strategic facility. Unauthorized entry is prohibited.
I have an appointment with Dr. Dallin. I brought the scanner.
You must be Skif. Head to the internal checkpoint. They'll direct you from there.
After weeks on the road, Skif realised something. That today isn't the end. And perhaps it's possibly only the beginning of a wider adventure in the zone.
Colonel, a loner is here with the scanner. Initiating guest protocol. Go ahead. They're waiting for you inside.
But if you want to find out what happens next, tune in to episode 8 of my S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 series.